Captain Broccoli, what is a musical period?
A period is a pair of musical phrases that complement each other.
Speaking of that, you could spare a few compliments every now and then. I still look good in the superhero suit I got when I was 16. But do you ever have anything nice to say about it?
That's compliment spelled with an I, and I mean compliment spelled with an E. Together the two phrases make a whole. A period is a basic element of musical structure.
Structure. That is one thing I used to get compliments about. My agent used to say I have good structure.
He's talking about facial structure. But musical and facial structure are actually quite similar. The musical form creates a framework that supports the surface activity, in the same way that your facial bones hold up your face.
That's disgusting.
It was worth a try.
On my homework I am supposed to stare at this piano piece on paper and figure out if it begins with a period. This piece does not seem to have a face, so I am not sure you are helping.
It does not need a face. It needs to have two phrases that complement each other. The first phrase is usually inconclusive and the second is more conclusive. In particular, the first phrase usually ends on the dominant or 5 chord, and the second phrase usually ends on the tonic or 1 chord. That is the type of period you probably have to know about for your homework. Perhaps we can discuss some simple examples. One example of a period is The Muffin Man.
The Muffin Man?
It's a children's song.
I have stayed away from the Muffin Man for 12 years. That is how I still fit into the suit.
It begins, do you know the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man?
I told you.
It's just a song. I think your hardcore dieting has left you with some neurotic fixations. Do you know the song?
Yes. It is from a happier time when I could eat muffins without running to the gym for a quick couple of hours on the Stairmaster.
So you know it?
Yes.
Well, there are two phrases in this part of the song. A phrase is like a musical sentence. Can you hear any phrases in the music?
Well, the whole song you just sang is one sentence. So I guess the whole thing is one phrase.
That's a common mistake. To find musical periods, the words might provide a hint, but not always. The musical period needs to be determined from the music alone. There is no fixed rule for where they are. But there are some hints.
If I thought you didn't have hints, I would have tossed you in the lava rather than listen to you natter.
The most common phrase length is 4 measures. Many are 2 or 8. Other lengths are not uncommon, but those lengths are a good place to start. Another rule of thumb is to ask, where would I take a breath if I sang this melody? Often the phrases break there.
It is hard to think about. As soon as I think of muffins, I start to hyperventilate.
A last sign is that if you hear repetition in the melody, it is quite likely that a new phrase is starting.
In that case, the two periods probably begin with the words, do you know?
Good thinking. Can I stretch my legs now?
No. So that is the answer? The two phrases are a period.
You have to see if the first one is inconclusive and the second one conclusive. Do you feel like the musical idea is finished after the first phrase?
No, it doesn't feel like we are done yet.
Exactly. That's because the first phrase ends on scale tone 5 and implies a 5 or dominant chord. This gives the music a strong pull to keep going. It is called a half cadence. The second phrase ends on scale tone 1, which usually gives you a feeling that the musical idea could finish there. It is called a full or authentic cadence. 2 phrases, the first ends on 5, the second on 1. A classic period.
Sure. Classic.
Now, did you notice that both phrases are the same for a long time?
They are the same up to the words Muffin Man.
Right. When the two phrases of the period start the same way, we call it a parallel period.
Parallel muffins.
Now take the song Yankee Doodle.
Isn't that the song about pasta?
Some would argue the macaroni is incidental.
Can't you sing any song that is not about carbs?
Bear with me. Sing it through in your head.
I haven't warmed up. I'm a professional, you know.
I said in your head.
Oh.
How many phrases do you hear if you go up to the word macaroni?
I hear one that ends with the word pony and one that ends with the delicious pasta primavera.
Macaroni.
Sorry, I lost focus.
Correct. In this case, the two phrases start differently, though they definitely work together, with one being conclusive and one being inconclusive. When the two phrases start differently, it is a contrasting period. By the way, the first phrase is called the antecedent and the second is called the consequent.
I am annoyed by all this terminology. It won't fit on the palm of my hand.
You won't need it. First, find the breaks in the musical phrases. Check if the first ends in a half cadence and the second ends in a full one. If so, you have got a period. If not, it may just be a phrase group. Then see if the two phrases start the same. If they do, it is parallel, and if not, it is contrasting.
I have had enough. Period.
You sound cranky. Can't you eat a cheese cube, or broccoli spear, or something? There is more terminology coming.